갖고 있는 힘이 굉장히 좋은 작품이라고 생각을 했고
Lovely viewers, today's story is going to sweep you off your feet and melt your heart like warm chocolate on a winter's morning. If you've been following the breathtaking journey of Minho and Songhai Ko, then you already know their love story has gone from dreamy glances and whispered conversations to shared laughter, a beautiful wedding, and now, the joys of parenthood. But just when fans thought they had seen it all, Minho has stunned the world with a single sentence. A sentence that has captured hearts, trended across continents, and stirred a storm of emotion on every corner of the internet. Songhai Ko is the best thing that ever happened to me. Yes, you heard it right. The man who has graced billboards, set drama screens on fire, and charmed millions with his boyish smile and warm charisma just laid his soul bare with the most sincere declaration of love imaginable. And he didn't say it in a scripted interview or during a press junket. No, this moment came straight from the heart. Unguarded, unrehearsed, and so deeply human that fans are still crying over it. It happened during a quiet moment, when Minho was asked a seemingly simple question during a post-event sit-down. What has changed you the most in the past year? The interviewer expected him to mention his new role as a father, or perhaps the overwhelming attention his recent projects have received. But instead, Minho paused, smiled gently, and without hesitation said, "Songhai Ko is the best thing that ever happened to me." And just like that, the world stopped. You could almost hear the sound of collective gasps as the quote started making rounds across social media platforms, news outlets, fan pages, and fan clubs. Viewers began commenting in dozens of languages, creating fan art, sharing emotional reactions, and thanking him for giving them a reason to believe in pure, soul-deep love once again. One fan from Brazil wrote, "He could have said anything, but he chose to give her the world in just one sentence." Another from Kenya commented, "I cried hearing him say it. Because when men express their hearts like this, it changes the way we all look at love." And yet another from the Philippines said, "Their love is not a fairy tale. It's real, it's tender, and it's growing stronger every single day." Can you feel it, lovely viewers? That warmth rising in your chest as you picture him saying those words. His eyes filled with sincerity. His voice trembling slightly with emotion. This isn't about drama. This is about truth. The kind that makes hearts flutter and eyes well up. And what happened after he said it is even more beautiful. The interviewer, caught off guard by the raw emotion, simply smiled and let the silence linger. Minho then added softly, "She's my home, my peace, my beginning and my future." It's moments like these that remind us love is not about the grand displays. It's about the quiet certainties. About being so deeply sure of someone that you don't need to explain yourself. One sentence is enough to carry the weight of 1,000 poems. Songhai Ko, upon hearing about the interview, reportedly smiled and said only one word. "He's my heart." And that, dear viewers, only added fuel to the fire of collective joy sweeping across the globe. Let's rewind a bit and walk through the journey that led to this tear-jerking moment. From the early days of quiet flirtation on set to the paparazzi shots that first hinted at something more, Minho and Songhai Ko captured the imagination of fans with their chemistry. It wasn't loud. It wasn't overexposed. It was gentle, patient, unfolding like a delicate storybook romance page by page. When they finally confirmed their relationship, fans felt like they were watching a dream come true. Their moments together, from holding hands at press events to exchanging secret smiles and behind-the-scenes footage, felt like scenes pulled from a movie, only this time it was real. Their wedding was a moment the entire world tuned into. And now, with the arrival of their baby, their love has matured, deepened, and grown in ways that words can barely capture. And still, with all of this history, Minho managed to leave us breathless with a single phrase. Because, the best thing that ever happened to me isn't just about love, it's about life. Lovely viewers, have you ever felt that kind of love? The kind where just hearing their voice makes you feel safe. The kind where everything before them suddenly feels like preparation for the moment you meet them. That's what Minho was talking about. In the days that followed the interview, fans began digging deeper into their favorite moments between the couple. Old videos resurfaced, like the time Minho gazed at Songhai Ko while she spoke, unaware he was being filmed. Or the time he surprised her with a quiet piano performance on her birthday, playing a song he had secretly learned just for her. Suddenly, those moments carried even more meaning. They weren't just gestures. They were signs of a man fully, deeply, completely in love. And it's not just words. Those who are close to the couple say that Lee Min-ho's love shows in everything he does. From how he rubs her back when she's tired, to how he instinctively reaches for her hand when they walk into a room, to how he refers to her as my person when talking to friends and family. There's one story that recently surfaced that truly moved fans. A close friend revealed that during Songhai Kyo's late stages of pregnancy, Lee Min-ho would come home from work, take off his shoes quietly, and sit beside her without saying a word. Just to be near her, just to share the silence. One night she asked him, "Why are you always so quiet when you come in?" And he reportedly replied, "Because I don't want to wake the peace in the room. You are my peace." Who says things like that? Who lives their love so tenderly, so intentionally, that every word becomes a love letter? Lee Min-ho does. And let's not forget how Songhai Ko mirrors that love right back. Those close to her say she glows when she talks about him. That her laughter is softer now. That her eyes light up when he walks into a room. That motherhood with him by her side has become a journey she treasures, not just for the joy it brings but for the strength they share through it. It's no wonder that fans are now calling their relationship the standard. Not because they're perfect but because they're real. Because they talk through disagreements. Because they support each other's careers. Because they celebrate each other's wins quietly, without needing the world's applause. And because even after everything, the fame, the pressure, the sleepless nights with a newborn, he still says she's the best thing that ever happened to him. And now let's talk about the impact. The emotional ripple this moment has created. Fans across generations are talking about love differently. People are writing letters to their partners, opening up about their feelings, sharing stories of how they, too, have someone they consider the best thing that ever happened to them. Even celebrities from across Asia and beyond have shared the quote on their personal social media pages, tagging it with words like relationship goals, real love, and soulmates do exist. It's become more than a sentence. It's become a symbol of hope. And maybe that's why this moment has hit so hard. Because in a world so often caught up in fast love, in breakups, in gossip and drama, here comes this quiet man, sitting in a chair, holding a microphone, saying words that hold the weight of the entire sky. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. What more can we ask for? To all our viewers, young and old, single or in love, just beginning your journey or years into it, let this moment remind you that love is real. That someone out there can and will look at you and think, this person changed my life. That someone will hold your hand and feel like they've come home. That the right love doesn't just make your heart flutter, it makes your soul breathe. So now we turn to you, beautiful audience. What does this moment mean to you? Did it make you think of someone in your life? Did it give you hope? Did it remind you of a love you've known? Or a love you still believe is coming? We'd love to hear your stories, your thoughts, your tears, your dreams. Because stories like this aren't just theirs, they're ours too. They belong to anyone who has ever loved, lost, hoped, healed, and dared to love again. Until next time, keep your heart open, your words kind, and always remember, the best love is the one that makes you say, without hesitation, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Just days after the interview where Lee Min-ho's voice slightly cracked as he poured his heart out, Songhai Ko appeared at a soft launch event for a women's empowerment charity. She wore a gentle cream-colored dress, minimal makeup, and a glow that couldn't be attributed to anything but love. When reporters asked her about Lee Min-ho's now viral words, she smiled. A smile that said 1,000 things without uttering a single one, and then in the softest, sweetest voice said, "To be loved like this is to be blessed. I'm grateful every day that he found me." Viewers, do you feel that? That ache in your heart? That flutter in your chest? That's what real love sounds like. But the story doesn't end there. Not even close. Behind the scenes, something even more heartwarming was happening. Close friends of the couple began to notice subtle changes. Songhai Ko had started sketching again, something she hadn't done in years. Her sketchbook, always placed on the kitchen island, showed pencil drawings of peaceful family scenes. One of Lee Min-ho cooking, another of him holding their baby, and another of the two of them cuddled together on the sofa while watching an old film. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho, oh dear viewers, this part will have you crying, had taken to composing short voice memos on his phone. Little love notes, whispered thoughts, observations about the way Songhai Ko furrows her brow while reading, or how her eyes crinkle when their baby giggles. These recordings were never meant for the public, but one leaked accidentally when he was playing one in the background of a video call with a director. And fans, they lost it. The voice memo simply said, "When I look at her, I see the chapters of my life I never thought I'd live. She's not just part of my story. She is my story." Tears. Full body chills. Fans started remixing the audio into love songs, using it as wedding captions, and even translating it into multiple languages. It went beyond fandom. It became a global anthem for those who've known what it feels like to finally find peace in someone's arms. And as always, Songhai Ko had her own way of responding, not through loud proclamations, but through gentle gestures. She posted a rare behind-the-scenes photo on her private social media account, which was later shared by a close friend. It showed Minho on the floor, playing peekaboo with their child. His face lit up with joy. Her caption, just 2 words, "My forever." Now let's talk about something incredibly special. Word began to spread that Minho was planning a private celebration for their upcoming anniversary. But not just any celebration. He reportedly rented out a private villa by the sea, the same location where they had their very first secret getaway before the world even knew they were dating. The villa was decorated with fairy lights, old photographs, handwritten letters from their early days, and lullabies softly playing in the background. Their baby was tucked into a cozy bassinet nearby, and it said that Minho prepared a small homemade dinner. Yes, he cooked again, based on all of Songhai Ko's favorite childhood meals. He even hired a live violinist to serenade them with the theme from her favorite drama. But the moment that absolutely shattered hearts came when, after dinner, he stood up, looked into her eyes and said, "You've given me love, laughter, and a life I never dreamed possible. I may have called you the best thing that ever happened to me. But truthfully, you're the only thing that truly ever happened to me." Songhai Ko reportedly cried. No cameras, no audience, just them, just love. The next day, Songhai Ko wrote a letter of her own and left it in his jacket pocket before he left for a shoot. It read, "Every time you speak, you don't just melt hearts, you build a home around mine. You are my quiet, my safety, my heartbeat." Lovely viewers, how can we not believe in love again when we witness moments like these? How can we not fall in love with the idea of 2 people who've been through so much pain, pressure, fame, heartbreak, and still choose each other over and over again? As their love story continues to unfold, something else beautiful is happening. The fans themselves are evolving. The fandom that once shipped them now celebrates them as parents, as partners, as soulmates. Fan pages are no longer filled with just edits and gifs, but with poems, life reflections, personal letters inspired by their journey. People are writing to say, "You gave me hope again. You reminded me what love looks like." And here's something even more surprising. Industry insiders are now saying that Minho and Songhai Ko are working on a secret short film project together. It's said to be a modern-day fairy tale, based loosely on their own journey, and it will include scenes that they both helped write. It's their love, told in their own words, in their own way. Even their child is reportedly involved. There's a cameo planned, where the baby will be seen reaching out to touch a glowing light, symbolizing the future. Is your heart breaking yet? 'Cause ours is. So what's next, lovely viewers? Will Minho surprise her with another song? Will Songhai Ko write a full memoir? Will they do a family travel documentary next? The possibilities are endless, but one thing is clear. No matter what they do, they'll do it with love. Their story isn't a fairy tale, it's better. It's real. It's raw. It's filled with the kind of small, intimate moments that form the foundation of true, lasting love. Now we want to hear from you. In the comments, tell us, what moment in Minho and Songhai Ko's journey touched your heart the most? If you had the chance to ask either of them one question, what would it be? And what would you say to the person who is the best thing that ever happened to you? Let's make this space one filled with kindness, warmth, and love. The kind of love that Minho and Songhai Ko show us every single day.